you can really drill into your different uniqueness. But any destination, you can find something very unique, and you yourself falls in love with it over and over again.
You guys, I have been working on something for the last 6 months that has been such a giant project, but I'm so proud of it. I'm excited to announce that I've just released my book. It's called Touch Points, and it's the Destination Marketer's Guide to Brand Evaluation and Enhancement. And it is a comprehensive guide for destinations to look at their brand, evaluate what you've done, and make a very clear and detailed plan of action of how to fix it. And look, I'm biased, right? Because I wrote it, but I think it's so good. I think it's a great guide, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And I wanted to tell you guys about it. It's available on Amazon. Search Touch Points by Adam Stoker, and you'll be able to get that book for your destination. And I think it's going to be, especially for anyone that is trying to look at their brand holistically, this is the book for you. So check it out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Destination Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Stoker. I'm excited to have you with us today. We've got a great guest for you, someone that I've known for a very long time, and it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get her on the show for a while, and it's been tough to get schedules to match up, but somehow when we're all working from home, it makes it a little bit easier to be available. But we've got Rhonda. She is the CEO of Visit Yosemite in Madera County. And Rhonda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. I'm excited to be on.
Oh, it's good to have you. And you know, it's funny. I was thinking the other day about when we met, and we actually met at a DMA West. I think it was either 4 or 5 years ago. It was out in Anaheim, California. Do you remember that?
I do. I loved your display there. It really caught my eye.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to, the great thing about this industry is you build such long-standing relationships, and there's so many different ways to get to know people because of the trade shows and everything. It's kind of funny to sit back and realize how long ago that actually was.
I know, and I kept thinking, okay, someday I'm going to get to work with them. Someday I get to.
And we did it. We did it. Well, let's talk. I'm excited to chat a little bit through, what we have going on and what you have going on in your destination. And before we get too far into that, I want to talk first about, we've got some icebreaker questions that we ask everybody that comes on the show. And my first question for you, Rhonda, is what is your dream destination? If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh my goodness. I love a beach. I love a beautiful, beautiful beach with my husband and a book and cocktails and just meeting people. So a beach anywhere, different beaches. Tahiti would be one.
Okay. All right. I was going to say that narrows it down to a third of the world, but
I'm not picky.
No, I love Tahiti.
I want to be, and I guess, one of those little huts over the water. Yeah.
Oh man, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes, that has my name written all over it.
Okay. And is that something that's in your 5-year plan, assuming we can all go back to traveling, or is it more long term? What are you thinking there?
Yeah, within 5 years would be. Yeah, we were hoping next year, but things got a little wonky, so probably in the next couple of years.
Yeah, we don't even know what next month looks like, and I'm asking you to tell me when you're going to go on this vacation.
Yeah, I think we're going to fix our own travel problems here first, and then I'll think about mine, I guess. Darn it.
Got it. Okay, so the over-the-water bungalows in Tahiti, that's a good one. How about places you've been, Rhonda? What's your favorite place you've ever visited?
My husband and I love to travel, and so I'm obviously in the right industry. So I think my favorite place in the world we've ever been would be the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona.
Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Tell me about that.
That is the Gaudi built church, for lack of better words, that is so inspirational, and the architecture is amazing. Everywhere you look is something different. It's really spectacular.
Wow. Okay. And when did you take that trip?
Oh, geez, that was for my 50th birthday party, which I'm not 50 yet, of course, but that
So
was
this year,
yeah, this year. That was like 3, 4 years ago.
I shouldn't have dated you like that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But it was a wonderful trip. We went to Barcelona, we went to Paris for a while, and then we went on Le Boat, which six of us, two other couples, we rented a boat through the uh, DMA canals in France for 7 days, where we just had our own boat and our own three bedrooms on the boat, and we just cruised through the locks and sipped wonderful rosé wines and cruised the canals. It was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, this trip sounds like a dream.
Yeah, it was. It was a long time in planning, but it was very special, and we were treated beautifully in France and Barcelona.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. All right. Well, you've got some good ones there. Those are some good answers to those questions.
Now all I'm thinking about is going on vacation. Thanks, Adam.
I know, I know. We do this to people, unfortunately. We want what we can't have, right?
Right.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background, Rhonda, and how you got into tourism.
Oh, that's fun. So, I wasn't much of a school person, so I actually made a deal with my grandmother who had a little money, and I told her I wanted to go to a trade school instead of finishing high school. So she sent me to a Heald Business College. And I loved typing. I just wanted to be a secretary. I liked bookkeeping and typing, and that's what I wanted to do in life. So I got a clerical degree in about a year and a half and learned all kinds of business skills, and I was happy with that. And so my I had moved to Fresno, and it was almost Christmas time, and I was between jobs. I had another job lined up for January as a secretary at a vending company in Fresno, and I was doing a Yosemite puzzle of all the things, and I was looking down. I was gluing it to paper because back then you're poor and puzzles are your artwork,
Right.
and I looked down. There was a secretary job for the Pines Resort at Bass Lake, executive secretary, and I'm like. Bass Lake. I loved Bass Lake and I love the Pines Resort there. So I applied and got it. And that was how I got into tourism at the age of 21.
Wow. Okay, that's great. And I've been to the Pines Resort there at Bass Lake, and what a beautiful place to start your career.
It absolutely was, and I to this day I still market that property. It was fun. I started as secretary and then over the years left and came back and left and came back and ended up running most of the resort there except for food and beverage, and it's really got me hooked into tourism.
Oh, that's great. And so that's where you started, and now you're the CEO of Yosemite in Madera County. Tell me a little bit about your role there and what it entails today.
So my role at the Tourism Bureau started when I was actually at the Pines Resort. I was on the board of directors for about 10 years, and I loved what the Tourism Bureau did, and I loved being able to represent different properties. So I was actually the president of the bureau, and I was running a different resort. I had left the Pines Resort for a little while, and it happened that they really needed a marketing director. And so I said, why don't I just, step in there? I was on the board and they hired me and it just came from there. So when the CEO retired about 7 years ago, I took over that position and now we run the visitor center and we do all the tourism marketing. We help our industry partners with what they can't do for themselves. So we have a big reach, a full staff of marketing team. Obviously, the visitor center, which we get about 40,000 people in a year, and it just worked out great. I knew the partners, I knew the hotels, I knew the shops and the attractions, and Yosemite folks. So that's what we do. We just kind of help market everybody.
That's great. And you're in a very unique position because you're a gateway city, right? And being a gateway city provides unique benefits, it provides unique challenges. You also share your national park with 3 other destinations that have different entrances to the park. So tell me a little bit about what that dynamic is like for your destination.
So besides Yosemite, which is obviously our big attraction, we have Bass Lake, which is another huge destination in our Madera County, and it is a destination in itself. In fact, probably half of the people that go to Bass Lake don't even care that it's a half hour from Yosemite National Park, one of the most beautiful places in the world. So we also have scenic byways, we've got museums, we've got wine trails, we've got a whole bunch to do, so we always say that we are more than Yosemite.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. There's a lot going on there, and I really enjoyed. I mean, from the dining options when we were there, and the places we went to going to Bass Lake and experiencing that, you really do have a unique destination, and probably that gives you some things to set you apart from some of the other gateway cities, even though each one has their own wonderful and unique attractions. What do you feel like causes people to want to enter Yosemite or visit Yosemite through Madera County?
Well, hopefully, because we're just great marketers and we show everybody that we have the best stuff. But now, every gateway has something beautiful. We do have different than every gateway as well. So we all have our unique aspects, and the reason why we are the most traveled gateway to Yosemite is we have a ton of things to do outside the park. Also, we have that great access from the southern part of California, which helps our destination grow as well. But with the wine trail, like I said, just we promote this fossils to falls journey through Madera County is pretty spectacular.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I want to get into the kind of the meat of it today and talk about some of the I mean, everybody in the world right now is dealing with the coronavirus crisis. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk to you about how it's affected you and your destination, and a little bit about how you're navigating the situation.
Wow, where do you even begin, right? So, first of all, I'd like to say that in Eastern Madera County, we have 0 cases confirmed. So, because I believe we have an advantage because we're rural, we're very spread apart. You can social distance easily, so we're not like, packed in grocery stores or packed in all these places where it was able to spread a lot easier. So that is good, but we're also at a disadvantage in a little ways because of our mom and pop stores. you know, they have to have tourism. They have to have people shopping just like everywhere in the world, but I'm really concerned about them. I'm really concerned about losing some of our small entities. In fact, our children's museum, which is always on the edge as a museum, did have to close. They could not sustain with the thought of being closed 2, 3 months, the possibility of that. Hopefully it won't be that long, but they did have to close. They were tired anyway. Being a museum of volunteers is makes it that way. But so that was our first real casualty. But a lot of our mom and pops obviously are I'm worried about. As far as our tourism budget, we rely on occupancy in hotels and campgrounds and vacation rentals, bed and breakfast, the whole everything. We are expecting probably about a 40 to 50% loss of income. So we're really being strategic on where we spend our money. Yeah. Because we need to get people back here, get them back staying the night, get them back in our little stores, riding the train in our attractions and do that safely, of course, which we've got a lot of plans. In fact, after I talk to you, I'm going to talk to a bunch of the chambers and we're going to talk about who is open ready and what does that look like and how can we keep our visitors and our families here safe when we do open.
Great. Great. And one of the things that I know you've been working on that I wanted to talk about a little bit today is we've been working on an activity packet for, you get a lot of families that come up to your destination. And how do you keep the families engaged when they're not allowed to travel? And putting together these activity packets proved to be a really fun project. And you guys, your packet specifically has evolved into a very robust activity packet. Talk to me a little bit about what that process has been like and your vision for uh, the activities that children and others that are interested can take part in as they think about traveling.
I love this. So we, as marketers, overachievers, whatever you want to call us, we didn't go small with this activity packet. Which Relic, your amazing team said, "Hey, why don't we do something like this?" And so we all started brainstorming more, and we made it very big. In fact, we're launching today. It's really amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited. So luckily, we've been working with you guys for what, 2 years now on our welcoming committee campaign, which is it's an animated, cartoonish animals that live in our area, and they are part of our fossils to falls road trip. And they take you along, like, our raccoon takes you on the train. He's the bandit for the train. And our Mr. Mead, who is our saber-toothed cat, will take you to the Fossil Discovery Center, where you can see saber-toothed cats and Columbian mammoths, etc. And we've got our Honey the bee that takes you through the Madera wine trail. We've got all these fun characters and their own little storybook that was already in place. And so when Tori said, "Hey, let's do like an activity campaign for stay at home," we had these assets. And then James the magician, he came up with these fun little cutouts and masks, and we evolved into, oh my goodness, we evolved into, like, you color the scenes and you can put their little clothes, their little mittens on the bee and all this fun stuff. And I don't know, it's going to be amazing. Stay tuned. It should come out today or tomorrow, but it's really fun. Kids can, I'm assuming, you need creativeness for your curriculum to finish school, your little classes and stuff at home. So this will be fun for the parents to play with the kids, learn about these animals as well as this wonderful destination, and you can dream about being Yosemite bound or Bass Lake bound, and visit us as soon as it's safe.
Yeah, I love the activity packet, and I love what yours has evolved into because it definitely is probably the most robust one that we've created. But it's been fun to see the creativity that's gone into that. Tell me about the different ways you plan to distribute that activity packet and how people can get their hands on it if they want one.
Yeah, so we'll be sending out a press release either today or tomorrow morning, and we will have it. We have a special page on our website for our welcoming committee, and then you'll have a link to the activity kit that you can download it. So it's so big that we made it into 3 sections. We have our storybook, we have our coloring pages, and then we have our activity kit with the crosswords and the cutouts and the masks and all that stuff. We didn't want to, like, overload people's printers and run out of color. We tested this at home, of course, since we're all at home. And so the storybook, which is in full color, you can read online, read with the kids. They can learn about different animals and things like that in our locations. And then you can print out the coloring pages for them, and then you can print out the activity kit for them to play with too. So we'll be distributing that obviously online through the website, on social media. We'll do some paid campaigns and things like that. And I think we're going to distribute it all around town as well. Our locals, love where we live, and they're going to have fun with it too.
I think that's so great. Yeah, you talked about testing printing at home. I made the mistake of all at once clicking on all of the activity books that we've done for our different destination clients and trying to print them all at once. And my wife was ready to kill me for the amount of ink and paper that I used because I think there was like 10
Hmm.
activity books that I was trying to print at the same time. And I wanted a copy for each of my kids. So definitely not advised there, but doing one at a time, I think is great. Let's talk, Rhonda, about the welcoming committee. You alluded to that earlier, and I think it's been such a fun project to work on. You mentioned that you had seen our trade show booth at DMA West and the illustrations that were on there and said, hey, we want to do a version of this for our county. And it started as, hey, let's do some illustrations, and it has evolved into a fully integrated campaign with so many cool things like the coins that we've done, and the trading cards, and all the different components of it. Tell me a little bit about how it's evolved from when we started the initiative to where it is today.
That's it. This has been such fun. It is like a marketer's dream to work with you guys and to work on a project like this. So we saw, I think was it Al, Dino Land,
Yeah, Vern and Al, Vernal. Yeah.
Vern and Al. So we saw them in your trade show booth, and on the airplane, Steve, our creative director, and myself, we plotted out this whole campaign. Like, well, the whole start of the campaign, the animated cartoon itself. With the characters and their scenes and introducing guests to where these characters live. We got the whole community involved, named the characters. Rick, like Ricky from the railroad, he's the raccoon bandit, and the daughter of the owner, the granddaughter of the owner of the railroad, had a pet raccoon at the railroad when she was growing up, named Ricky. So I mean, these character names were thought up. It was so fun, and we got really excited, and everyone's like, "Oh, wow, we should have a mascot." So we ordered some mascots of like Sierra, our bear, and Blake, our bald eagle. So in fact, Blake was just seen at Bass Lake. Check out our Facebook page. He should be online pretty soon. He was doing some crazy stuff while the humans are away. The animals are playing here. Our welcoming committee is playing throughout the region. But so we have stuffed animals, we have stickers, we have um I can't even think now. We've got so much. We've got the face masks and we have the storybooks and we have the little cutout characters that you can stand up and dress. We've got them. Sierra is a mama bear, and during Mother's Day, she's got her little family with her in Yosemite. We've had so much fun. Like Blake the bald eagle, we dressed him up for the triathlon, and he was in all the different legs of the triathlon on paper. Wearing the costume wasn't as easy.
So good.
But they show up, our animals show up everywhere, and people are loving this, and we've launched the second year where you can collect trading cards throughout the region and enter to win a Yosemite adventure vacation, which we custom put together, whether you want to do Bass Lake for the week with a weekend with a boat with a family or whatever, or if you want to go into Yosemite with a tour or fun wine trail weekend, whatever you want, we'll do a custom vacation. We give 3 of those away a year. And now we're starting to work with a locals one as well, where they can earn gift certificates to some of their favorite places in town. And what's funny is we've had so many locals say, "Hey, this is so cool. Oh, wow. I didn't know we had a fossil discovery center in Madera County." So people are realizing, even our own locals are realizing how much there really is to see and do. And one of the funnest stories, if I have still another minute here,
Yes.
um, is the one of the very first groups that did this, the trading cards, was a group of 8 millennials from the Bay Area that saw our commercial, and they came up and they said there's no way they would have even thought of doing all this. And they came up, they collected all 7 cards. They came in the visitor center to drop them off. They were hooting and hollering. We gave them stuffed animals and all kinds of stuff. And we had so much fun with them. But we thought it would be families. But this was just a group of millennials in their late 20s. And they just had fun doing every part of this road trip. It was so cool.
Oh, that is so much fun, and it really has turned out to be such a fun campaign. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows either, right? Like it is very difficult to create especially an illustrated campaign like this. What are some of the challenges that maybe you've run into in the process that other destinations that are considering an illustrated campaign or something like that may need to be aware of?
One of the things is once we did, so we did 7 locations, And of course, there's so much more to do. So one of the thing was to pick the locations without, without ruffling anybody else's feathers. And everybody has been really wonderful. In fact, James is working on a brand new character. Shh, it's secret.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll be launching him in probably September. It's a him, but to add another factor of or another pillar of what we do here in Madera County. But so picking locations was very crucial. Was we didn't It was hard to leave anybody out, but we also were hoping that it would catch on and that we would be able to add more different things, activities in the area. So that was hard. Gosh, making a decision. Because you think it's so final, but actually you can have this beautiful scene like Bass Lake. We had this really cool scene, and it wasn't quite Bass Lake, but we ran with that for 2 years, and now we've just updated it. So you can always add that into your mix for updates because you'll find things, oh, we should have included this at the lake or at this location. So it is evolving and evolvable. That's a new word.
Yeah.
Um,
No, evolvable. No, I looked it up. It's a word.
but yeah, making sure you don't stress about being inclusive. That was one of the most difficult.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because, you've got so many stakeholders that want to be supported by the destination. I think it makes a ton of sense to be very judicious about what areas you choose to do an illustration for and what you don't. Another challenge that I see, or at least something, maybe it's not a challenge, it's something people need to be prepared for, is you don't want to do a campaign like this unless you're prepared to commit to it for multiple years because it's so time intensive, takes so much work for both the destination and if it's an agency partner or whatever, it's a big commitment, I think, for both sides. And so if you're thinking, oh man, maybe we do this year and try it out, I would never recommend that to a destination that wants to do an illustrated campaign. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, totally agreed. Well, and it's almost impossible because if you really truly get into this campaign, I mean, I love Mr. Mead, our saber-toothed cat. I mean, these animals have personalities. What the process was so wonderful was we created their personalities with your group, and we created their personalities, their look, their feel. Are they male? Are they female? And you kind of fall in love with these animals or this campaign, and then you start thinking of so many more things. So we were thinking like a 2-year commitment or something. We're in this for the long run. This is so much fun.
That's great.
It's like, I mean, we keep reinventing it and yeah, we got to keep it fresh. You have to budget to keep it fresh. You have to, really, it kind of just evolves itself too, where you really have to hold off.
Well, when done correctly, though, I mean, you're a gateway city that shares one of 4 entrances to Yosemite National Park, yet you have a design and branding that is so unique that it's not like you're going to be mistaken for one of the other gateway cities, right? And so I think the real benefit from doing an illustrated campaign, if it makes sense for your destination, is the uniqueness that comes along with the look and feel of that campaign.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely true. And it really defines, you can really drill into your different uniqueness and in any destination. It doesn't have to be this beautiful, Yosemite with the 4 gateways, but any destination you can find something very unique, and you yourself falls in love with it over and over again.
Totally, totally. Well, Rhonda, I want to, as we navigate the coronavirus situation and combine that with just, hey, we've got to market our destination effectively. We've got to take care of our stakeholders. As you've kind of pondered the situation that you're in, regardless of which component that we've talked about today, what's your major takeaway that you would give a destination that's listening? What could they take from this episode as this is what I need to take a look at in my destination and learn from?
So that's an interesting question. Um, every destination is different. So, as many of us right now are listening to not podcasts, well, listening to podcasts too, but we are on webinar after webinar after webinar on what we do and what stats this and who's traveling and who's not. So, you have to know your own destination. You have to know and love your own destination. You have to work with the partners. What do they want? What do they need? What are their challenges? Especially in times like this. I think moving forward, we need to keep concentrating on what our partners need to survive. I guess that sounds really huge, really open, but going through this with our partners, it's pretty simple. They need people to come in through their doors. They need people to be excited. They need people in their destinations. So maybe not even overthinking it as much, but getting back to basics at this time especially, so we were off in this world of our welcoming committee critters, and we're doing all these wonderful things, and tourism's been great, so we've got some money in the coffers and we can really expand out. And then something like this hits and you go, okay, we need to go back to basics. We need to talk to our partners here. We need to talk to all the hotels. How are you doing? What do you need from us? We need to remember that we have these little tiny gift shops that have been in the families for years, that if you want to go in, the owner knows everything in her store. So really going back to basics and letting our guests know how much we've treasured these stores and being excited to tell our visitors, like at the visitor center, hey, go see this store. It has the coolest little stuff, and Sue will be there and to greet you. So really bringing it back to basics is what we're learning, and knowing your own destination, because we are so different than a big city. The recovery is going to be so different than that, with our little region.
Rhonda, I think it's a simple answer, but it is so profound because you start asking the question, why do we exist as an organization? What is our purpose? And then you realize that going back to basics is what's going to continue to ensure that you do exist and that you do continue to help those small businesses that have been so critical to your customer experience over time. I really do think that's a great answer to that question.
Thank you. It's comes from the heart. So I've been here for 34 years, marketing and working in tourism for Madera County, and specifically Eastern Madera County. And all these people personally, their kids, their grandkids, and it's funny that how much it hits you when something like this happens.
Totally, totally. Well, thank you, Rhonda, for coming on and sharing your knowledge and experience with us today. I think it's been a great episode.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you. Your whole team at Relic has just been a pleasure to work with.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Well, everyone, this has been another great episode of the Destination Marketing Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you haven't yet joined the Destination Marketers LinkedIn group, please make sure that you go and join. We're actually going to post this new activity book that Madera County has created in the Destination Marketers LinkedIn group so that you can take a peek at it and see what Rhonda's been talking about today on the show. Other than that, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.